Hello, hello. How are you guys? All right. So, I am excited to be on here for just a minute though, okay? And I'm trying to set up my group, but I hate going live on Facebook. It's such a pain in the ass. I mean, it's so weird and so finicky. Ugh. All right. So that's why I have my streaming device, right? All right, so maybe it'll come on, maybe it won't, whatever. Um, I'll have to share it to the group, or you guys can share it to the group, right? So, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Raven Woods, and I'm the CEO and founder of Autism Mama Rocks, the IEP, and I help parents gain the knowledge and the confidence to become the CEO of their IEP meeting. And with that comes a lot of responsibility. And when I say a lot of responsibility, I'm not joking around with that for real. But hi, Taylor, how are you? It's crazy, recently with an IEP that totally blew up. Oh my God, I got to tell you guys about this. Oh my God, I am so shamed about it, but I mean, the mom's totally cool with it. Okay, so, well, real quick, for those of you who are just joining, okay, post a 1 below if it's your first through third time catching me live. Post a 2 below if you're an oldie but goodie, okay? So, I just gotta tell you, because it's funny, what happens? It's like those times, when you are mad at somebody. Okay, I did this when I was younger, but you're mad at somebody and you're like, oh my gosh, someone just did this, and you're texting them, right? And you actually texted that to that person. Have you guys ever done that? Okay, so this is what happened to me today, and Mom, we both were guilty. So we put it on mute. Okay, I put my computer on mute. We all took a bathroom break, and so I put my computer on mute. I thought Mom put her computer on mute, so I call Mom during the bathroom break, okay? And then the first thing that comes out of my mouth is, oh my God, they're such asses. Well, then Mom proceeds to say, yeah, they're complete bullies. I'm so glad you're here, etc., etc. Well, long story short, Mom didn't have her computer on mute. So then I can't help but laugh because they were asses, complete asses. All right. And so we get back on the computer. All right. And the director of special education says, well, so while we were on our bathroom break, it appears that, somebody called us asses and somebody called us bullies. I could not help myself. And I just kind of started laughing. And I said, well, because in my mind, I was like, okay, this shit happened. It happened. Mom didn't have it on mute. She forgot. It was what it was, right? And so I said, look, I said, we were just being honest. I thought you were being asses. She thought you're bullying. And to be quite honest, I stick with it. I attest to what I said. And I believe Mom does too. And so she said, well, that goes against our some shit rules. Those rules they try to read you, we're going to have respect for each other, and we're going to this and we're going to that. Come on now. They didn't have respect for us this whole time. They lied to the parent. They made her feel like crap. She's new to the school. They told her, I can't even count how many lies. I mean, I could go on and on and on. So in my mind, I'm thinking, whatever, I don't really care, because they were ticked off at the fact that I had come at them with such force that she was ready to go. She didn't know what to do, and she was freaking out. This is a small town in California, away from LA, and they didn't know how to take me on at all. And so everything the director of special education came back at me with, I came back at her with, oh, well, here's the law. She came back at me with something. Okay, here's the law. So she finally cut it down to, oh, well, this is just not productive anymore. No, it's not, because you coming at the parent with lies is why I got involved. And if you're going to keep coming at the parent with lies, then I'm going to stay involved. So she just did not know what to do with it. So anyway, this IEP is one of those that's going to take a minute anyway. So this meeting was over, And so it had already gone 3 hours and we were just trying to finish things up, but it wasn't an IEP we were going to agree to because it was just going over what was going on because the child had just gotten to this school and it was within like 60 days or something. And the school kept pushing the parent off and not having that IEP meeting. And so the director of special education says, well, hopefully next meeting is a little bit more productive. I said, well, that's up to you. If you guys are going to be jerks, then I'm going to call it how it is. If you're not, then we can have a completely productive meeting. I said, I'm not coming at you to fight with you, but I'm not going to put up with the BS either. So I said, you need to make the choice to not BS the parent and abuse what it is that you think is power, which it's not. And then I will contain my words and not call it how I see it. Win-win. And she said, well, we will see you at the next meeting. Okay. So mind you, this is a school district that has not been challenged yet. Yeah, sounds familiar, right, Kim? Oh God, oh my God, you would have wanted to be like a little bird on my shoulder. You would have probably peed your pants, for real. It wasn't the parent's fault she didn't have it on mute, She thought she did and she didn't. But in all honesty, who cares? I thought they were asses. It's not like I said it to their face. And, it was one of those things where I told the parent, hey, they're being asses, And she's like, yeah, they're really bullying and whatever. So anyway, being called out on that was a little bit humorous, I have to say. So here's your tip. Put yourselves on mute, okay? Make sure that when you put yourself on mute, it is on mute, okay? Because it's not like this parent wanted them to hear us, okay? But if I'm called out, I'm going to own it, And so I wasn't even called out on something I didn't mean. I just didn't say it to their face. I said it to the parent. So you need to just make sure that you have things together like that so that you are, in check. They're just upset. Oh, they were called out in every which way. The biggest thing, here's the next thing, guys, your next tip, because I'm not staying on here long. Tomorrow we're going to start the reading series back up, so stick around. And for those of you on here now, Kim, maybe you could do this, share this over to the group. But here's the next thing is tip number 2. All right. So tip number 2 is, all right, you ready for this? Is you need to make sure, all right, that the school system gives you what they're going to be presenting. That can be new present levels. It could be new goals. I don't care what it is. They have to give it to you in advance. No ands, ifs, or buts about it. Okay? Figure out what's going on with my computer. So you need to make sure that that is done. All right? We showed up at this meeting and they had not given us a meeting notice, which I did call them out on. All right? And I said, so we're showing, I put it in, online, and I said, in the email, and I said, I just want to put it out there that you guys didn't adhere to California state law in regards to the meeting notice, and I wanted to make sure that you knew that. And of course they did, and then she admitted why she didn't do it, which was irrelevant. And you need to make sure that if a goal is going to be presented to you, now drafts are not required, but if new goals are going to be presented to you, those goals must be sent to you. All right. Most schools provide draft IEPs, but some don't, and they don't have to. You can't really hold them to that, so to speak, but you do want to make sure that they're upholding their own state laws along with federal law. And so I just want you to be mindful of the fact that everything that they know, you must know before that IEP meeting. Let me say that again. What they know, okay? That can be Your child took a health test, where they have to, that they do at the doctor, and they have to, look at the letters and that sort of thing. And maybe they did a hearing. I mean, it's kind of a joke at school, but whatever. Okay, that's just an example. Say they did that and they failed it according to the school. All right. They have to tell you that. They cannot just dock it down, put it on a piece of paper, and file it up. They have to tell you. And especially going into an IEP meeting, you must know what they know. And if you don't, that is a violation of FAPE. The reason it's a violation of FAPE is they're removing your right as the parent guardian of that child to participate appropriately, adequately, and equally as a team member. Okay, you're equal team members. This team did not get that in their head. It went way over their head, and I kept saying to them, you guys may not be used to upholding your state law. And this is what I said several times. You all may not be used to someone challenging you. You may not used to a parent coming at you and questioning the things that you're doing and questioning you to the point where they caught you in multiple lies. However, expect it from here forward, because it's not going to stop until you get on the bandwagon and figure out your own state law, so I don't have to keep calling you out on it. And I'm going to call you out on it on record, on email. And so here's the other thing, okay? So did I tell you guys already? I believe I did. In the state of California, all right, by law, okay, it's a two-party state, all right? So two-party states are just that, okay? You have to ask permission to record, all right? And make sure that, the other party agrees, all right? Well, in regards to IEPs, that's not the case. All you have to do is say 24 hours in advance, hi Nicole, how are you? Hi Hannah, hi Taylor, hi Kristen, and Misty, and that's it. All right. So if you're hopping on, post a 1 below if it's your first through third time catching me live. Post a 2 below if you're an oldie but goodie. All right. So bottom line, they don't uphold that two-party law in regards to IEPs. So it's 24 hours. And you just have to let them know. You do not, okay? You do not have to ask permission. You do not have to, say, oh, I am really upset and, I want to record this meeting. If something was going on, you don't have to say, is it okay if I record this meeting? Can I have permission to record this meeting? You don't have to do all that stuff, okay? All you have to do is send an email in the state of California 24 hours before the meeting and say, I am going to be recording this meeting. Feel free to record yourself. Okay? And so anyway, at the point of me calling them out in the beginning of the meeting, the director then proceeds to say, because I kept saying on record, on record, on record. So then she proceeds to say, what do you mean on record? I said, well, what do you mean? I said, just what I said, on record. She said, so are you recording this meeting? I said, yes. She said, well, we didn't know that, and you have to tell us 24 hours in advance. You know what? You're right. Do you remember on March 22nd when I sent you that first email? And she said, yes. I said, well, on that first email, it says very boldly, from here forward, I will be transcribing and recording each and every IEP meeting from here forward. I think I say from this point forward. And then as I was talking, I took a picture of the email and emailed it to him again. But she was hot, because she wasn't recording. So they ended up starting to record. So that's your tip 2, is in the state of California, you can record your IEP meetings as long as you email them in advance and just say, hey, I'm recording the meeting. I'm sitting here messing with my computer piece. It fell off. It's bugging me. So just know that. All right. There was something else that you guys know I always like to tell you about that meetings. There was something else. The speech therapist, occupation, they were great. BCBA, she was okay. It was the director, the minute the director of special education opened her mouth, each and every time, her and her little minion, who's right underneath her, everybody, so there's the director of special education, and then there's the minion underneath them. That's like the assistant director, or the coordinator, or whatever. They're minions, all right? They answer to the director of special education, and, it is what it is. All right. So, what was that other thing? Oh, okay. So here was the other funny thing that happened in the meeting. So your 2 tips are what I just told you. All right. But here's something just funny that happened in the meeting. So they didn't know how to work Zoom, and Google Meets and Teams don't really go well with Apple. So I always request Zoom, and we're allowed to request that. Well, the team didn't know how to use Zoom really well. And so the coordinator, she kept messing with it, and she was on Zoom like 3-4 times. And anyway, long story short, they ended up giving me host access. Idiots, okay? Because I was running with that one. So anyway, they give me host access, and they knew it, but they didn't know enough about Zoom to know that I had control over everything. Meaning I got the recording, not them. I got to control who shared their screen. I mean, it was the most insane thing. I wasn't going to say anything because y'all gave me the freaking access. Now, what's interesting is they knew they gave it to me, but I don't know if they knew the results. So that was kind of interesting. That was a first. So that was kind of shocking, but it is what it is. So just be mindful of the different things that can happen online with IEPs, and just be very cautious when you are talking online, and make sure you're always on mute. If you take a bathroom break, because my IEP meetings are 3 hours or more, so you want to make sure that you put yourselves on mute if you take a bathroom break. But what was so cool is Mom was just awesome. She could care less. She didn't even care. She was like, well, at least now they know what I think, and I was like, yeah, they do. And don't be, I mean, it wasn't like vulgar things came out of our mouth. It wasn't anything like that. But in between, I talked to my parents in between meetings, at bathroom breaks, etc. And so just make sure you're on mute, okay? Because you don't know what you're going to say. You don't want them knowing what you said, whatever. But I just thought it was kind of humorous that, Mom didn't put it on mute. And she's calling them bullies. I called them an ass. I mean, it was whatever. And then they said, well, we heard you, I said, oh, okay. But, I definitely said, that's exactly how I felt. I said, and I went into detail as to why, because I wanted it on record. And I went into detail on how they did not provide the parent and the child FAPE in regards to this IEP meeting, because they didn't provide or tell us that they were going to be presenting new goals, because this was just a 30-day meeting, guys. All right. This was not changing up the IEP yet. This was not, addressing any major thing. Okay. This was simply a 30-day meeting to review things and to schedule another meeting to then proceed with changing up the IEP and having evaluations done. All right. So we talked about evaluations, stuff like that. So it was enlightening, because, I'm now going to follow that up, of course, this evening with a email to the team, in regards to all of the violations that happened, um, and the fact that they had violated FAPE. The parent calling them a bully, me calling them an ass. I mean, I literally said they were an ass. Um, and is irrelevant because we were on break. And no one was talking to anybody. It was the parent and I talking. She just wasn't on mute, so they heard through her computer and we were on the phone. So I just thought you guys would find that kind of humorous. It was. But on the other hand, put yourselves on mute. You don't want those kind of things, happening just in case it was something like what we said was innocent. It was not a big deal at all. But you don't want to say really good content in regards to something you may have against them. You don't want to have dialogue in reference to something you're not wanting to present to them yet. There's many things that can happen, so you want to just make sure that you cover all your bases. All right. So because of that hiccup, I wanted to tell you guys, because I don't want you all to be talking, maybe you're talking to your husband or your friend that's in, on your couch with you, in your IEP meeting, and you're saying all these different things and they hear it all, So thank goodness we didn't say anything that was impactful, because we had a whole lot, and I'm glad we didn't say that. So it was more just chit-chatting and her saying they were bullies, me calling them an ass, and then we were just chit-chatting, So that was a good thing, but on the other hand, you don't want to have hiccups like that and, say things that could really come to haunt you later, or, could, just different things. You know what I mean? So that's one thing I don't do, is like attack any one person personally. Now, will I attack them as a team? Will I attack them as a person in regards to what they do? Okay, like a speech therapist or, a teacher, and the failure to provide an education to a child, that sort of thing. Of course I do. But in regards to who they are, name calling, et cetera, I don't do that. And I don't encourage you to do that either. I know, like, when you get mad, you can say all kinds of things and things come out, and it is what it is. But at the same time, you want to have a little bit of tact when it comes to, certain words that come out of your mouth. Even though it's okay to be angry, even though it's okay to raise your voice, even though it's okay to let them know where you stand. So I just wanted to let you know that. So a couple tips there. Okay. So again, I know it's early, so if you are hopping on, post a 1 below if it's your first through third time catching me live, post a 2 below if you're an oldie but goodie, and make sure you post, hi Veronica, how are you? Hi Mercedes, hi Dana. Hi Marlene, how are you? How are you? Hi Tara and Kaj and Kristen, hello. So guys, just be mindful of those things. Thank you, Marlene. I appreciate that. From Texas, sorry, in therapy with my baby. I'll reply later. I bet you got a kick out of that one. So you guys need to just be mindful of those things. Keep those tips in your back pocket. And remember. So if moving to a new state, you're supposed to have an IEP meeting in 30 days and nothing should be changed on the IEP. No, you have to have a meeting within 30 days, and it's up to you all if you want to change your IEP. We were proceeding with evaluations first because typically a school system, if your child's new, will want to evaluate your child, and I think that's a good idea. So I'm all for that. And even though this team, they wanted to change like goals and stuff like that during this IEP, I was like, no, because they didn't want to go off the evaluations that were just done in December from the other school. They wanted to do their own assessments. Okay, fine. The parent still has the right to get an IEE if she so chooses. And the school has a right to do an evaluation. You can't, if a child goes into a new school, you cannot sign, but if it proceeded to like a, a mediation or a, due process, and you refused for a new school to do an evaluation, that would come down on you. That would just be kind of a stupid move. But always be picky about what evaluations, all that kind of stuff. And even though this child was just evaluated, being at a new school, they wanted to do it themselves. Okay, fine, whatever. It's cool. But in no way, shape, or form was I changing anything when they're saying that they're going to have it done, by the first week of June. Why would I change anything for a month? So we decided to leave it alone, even though they wanted to change a couple things. And I was like, no, because we didn't agree with IEP at all. And there was no point in just saying, oh, okay, put these 2 goals into play and nothing else. It was just like not worth it. It was one of those calls of, okay, it just doesn't make sense, Veronica? So yes to the 30 days. As far as changing, that's a team thing, your decision. If you feel like it doesn't need changed, don't change it. But they may propose to change some things and be open to it. And if it's something that you're like, no, that's not going to work, it is what it is. And yes, Kim, sorry, I didn't see your question. So, yeah. Moving from a state where developmental delay ends at 9, that's like Oklahoma. And it ends at 6. I'm in Virginia, so Skylar didn't have developmental delay until she was 6 at all. Once she went into kindergarten, it changed to autism. So I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how to do this. So I don't know why Virginia would tell you 6. They'll change it. Virginia's not sticklers about that. Does that make sense? So don't worry about that part, at least in Virginia. Okay. All right. So does anybody have any questions in regards to any of that? Anything? Or you can laugh at me for what happened. We think it's kind of funny. Grandma thought it was kind of funny. I mean, she didn't even care. She was just kind of disgusted at their attitude when her son was so, he was so new to the school and stuff. So, but me, I was just like, it's fine. I wanted them to do their evaluations and we'd come back to the table. It was what it was, I knew there was nothing happening today. We just had to meet because of that 30-day. So, but yeah, be mindful of that. So if you move, your child goes to a new district, it could be a different state, whatever, it doesn't matter. They change schools, you have to meet within 30 days. All right. Hi, Erin. How are you? All right. Well, it is gorgeous here. So thanks for the hearts, guys. I am going to go for a walk and then come back home and make dinner. So I may hop back on to do a Q&A. So if you guys want to do that, or I may do that tomorrow, not sure. I'm going to do a Q&A this week. Promise. Okay? So start writing your questions down. All right? So when I will post when I love it. Can't wait till mine. Okay, Erin. So yeah, yours should be interesting, Kristen, because they did a whole 180. Would you call it 180? 180. Like they went from bitch, or she went from bitch to, okay, I better kind of come around and, right? What would you call it, Kristen? I mean, she was nasty, and now she's agreeing to things, and, Kristen knows how I call them out. Erin knows how I call them out. All right, guys. So I will talk to you soon. I will be back on tomorrow. Sorry I wasn't live yesterday. Yesterday was crazy. I had 2 IEPs back to back, and then I had an appointment. I mean, it was crazy. So it is what it is. So I will talk to you guys soon. And make sure you write your questions down because I will post when I'm going to go live with a Q&A. All right. And I'm going live with a Q&A over on my group. So for you people on the page that are all over the place, okay, and maybe don't even like my page, all right, but you can see things when they're live, join the group if you're interested in an IEP Q&A. So all things special education and IEP, okay? So if you want to join the group, you just put in the search bar Autism Mama Rocks IEP group, and I have people that I have to accept, before tomorrow anyway. So go ahead and join the group. Okay? So I will talk to you guys soon. Have a wonderful Tuesday, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.